at this time. Come now.
I'd like to interject something.
Whiskey 6 Germany Yankee, W6GY. W6GY. Very good. W6GY. And the name there? Name is Gary. Golf Alpha Romeo Yankee. Location, Boise, Idaho. Oh, Boise, Idaho. Very nice. You got a good signal down here. You're about 10 over, so stick around. We'll be talking about the roundtable. Is this your first time to check in? Oh, no. Long time. It's been a long time since I checked in, but I used to live down in the LA area. Okay, well, we won't hold that against you. But thanks for checking in. You got a good signal here tonight. All right, let's get this thing started off. Pretty good list tonight, and we'll have some interesting comments, I'm sure. Welcome, everybody, to the Vintage Single Sidebound Roundtable. This is AK6R. My name is Bob, Broken Old Bottles, and I'm here in Fallbrook, California, which is about 16 miles inland from the Oceanside Harbor, right below Camp Pendleton, northern part of San Diego County. I'll be the host for tonight's roundtable. And tonight I'm cheating. I have my vintage gear is in pieces right now, so we're running an ICOM 7800 and a Meritron AL 1500 amplifier going into a 80-meter loop antenna, 80 through 10 meters. So that's the station tonight, and we're driving it with a Heil microphone. So excuse the inconvenience, but just wanted to make sure we got on the air. Okay, we meet every Tuesday evening at around 8:30, 8:95, and we should be right on frequency right now. So zero beat me if I'm a little bit off on your receiver. Just go ahead and zero beat me. All of us should be using equipment that was manufactured on or before 1981 or home-built equipment with equivalent technology. First-timers, however, can use modern equipment for the purposes of checking in and finding out a little bit about our net here. I gotta hold on a second. I gotta turn off an alarm.
Well, you heard Jimbo last night.
Oh, do you know what that old wheel that brought this stuff, man? He got loud. Well, what do you do?
All right, I should be back now. I got a weather alarm that keeps going off, and I got to turn it off. All right, so tonight we have a question of the evening, which is typically what we do on these radio shows. And tonight, I'm going to get your thinking caps on, and I'm going to ask you a real simple question. It's the time of the year again, and we always ask this question. And what is Santa Claus going to bring to you for your ham radio station this year? What do you wish Santa would bring you for your ham radio station? What accessory or new radio or new antenna or whatever it is? Just give us an idea of at least one thing, but no more than a couple. So that's the question for tonight. What's Santa going to bring you to for your ham radio station this year? And we're going to start off with the first four. It's K6RCL, and then there's a question mark prefix ends in LBJ. Turn it over then to Bob, WA9JIB, and then over to Brian, NI6Q, and then back to me. Go ahead and take it, DJ. K6RCL from AK6R.
Okay, real good, Bob. Thank you for taking the net.
A lot of the other stuff.
And
the processor.
K6RCL, DJ here in Goleta. We're over in our shack, which is we're living in two houses essentially right now due to construction. Anyway, yeah, it's interesting. What's Santa going to bring me? Well, Santa's going to bring me diddly squat concerning ham gear. I can tell you that right now. I think it's pretty much saturated. So he may allow me to stick up a tri-bander up on my other tower. That's a possibility. So that's about it there. We got a lot of people tonight to band Squirrely. I'm not going to hold it. So I thought it was WA9GIB, but there must be somebody else apparently, and I don't know who that LBJ or something. So I'll just stand by here. K6RCL. This is WA9JIB. There never was an LBJ, unless you go back to the guy.
Okay, Bob, go ahead and take it. I'll let you have it.
And Richard Nixon. that was
yeah, he did. He was basically on that.
maybe RE-20 back east or something like that.
Yeah, the RE-20.
So I'm going to go ahead and take it
your
from PJ,
setting
across the LWA9JIB, Bob here in La Cunada. Yeah, pretty chilly here today too. But probably we're not going to get any rain. We're supposed to get a little rain, but no snow. Anybody's got clear skies, look up and see that big, bright red Mars coming over the eastern horizon and going up to very high elevation. Tomorrow night is Mars opposition. And if you got a telescope, that would be the ideal time to go look at it. While the skies are clear tomorrow night, I'm going to have a little star party right at my place, right out in the front yard. So anyway, I am running the Helicopter station tonight, Dream Station, I got from Rocco. Although I started out with the MC-50 Kenwood mic, which I had. Got that from Wayne, I think. IRD. And so there I go into the HD32B. Paired with the SX115. I do go through a tuner, got an R48 speaker, and a dipole hangs off a 35-foot mast in an inverted V configuration. Oh boy, I wasn't ready for that question. What could I use? I could use a more compact spectrum analyzer, and then I'd unload my HB141T. And but I just found out from some guys at my local club that a local ham here in La Cunada, who's also ex-JPL, where I still work, has got a Helicopters Loudon pool bird he wants to get rid of. So I might wind up with that. I don't know what I'd do with it, but and I don't know what condition it's in. But anyway, that's a possibility. So that's all I got to say on that. I know we'll go with the HD44 and SX117, which I don't own. But the Linear's a hard one to get, so who knows. Over to Brian, NI6Q, WA9JIB.
Yes, okay, very good. WA9JIB and the roundtable. This is NI6Q, Flagstaff, Arizona. All right, well, thanks to Bob, AK6R, for doing the honors tonight, and good signals all around, you know, a little up and down. There's a static also because of the rain that is really pounding outside, and it's becoming kind of hail because it's below freezing point here. This is probably going to turn into snow overnight or tomorrow morning. We'll find out. It's very windy as well. You don't want to be outside. So there we go. And I can certainly think about some people over there, you know, in Ukraine being in that situation. Not funny, especially with no heater or no electricity or anything like that. So we should think about that, you know, and just hope for the best. So anyway, station tonight, just like JIB, I'll start with the first element, which is actually a microphone element, Electro Voice, 630, I think, on this one. This is actually going to feed some voice into the Aldico military unit here, which is 1956. This exciter pushes some power into the 30S1 columns. That's from 1958. And the receiver is a 75A4, which is from 1958 as well. The antenna is a doublet antenna that will be actually a dipole on this particular frequency. So there we go. So nothing more about the station here. Santa Claus, well, there's question marks all around that. There's talks. There's talks about a possible Harris addition to the station here. A Harris amplifier 102A is kind of spoken around and about, but it's not sure yet. So it might be a surprise for Christmas. We don't know. Have no idea. And that would eventually replace the 30S1 if it happens. So there you go. And I'll put it back to you, Bob, and thanks again for doing the honors and coming up with a quite original question for the season. AK6R, this is an I6Q, Flagstaff.
Who is the breaking station? breaking station in there? Okay, I didn't hear it that time. Anyway, I thought there was somebody tail-ending you there, Brian. And good signals from all. K6RCL, you were 20 over. Just a beautiful signal in here. And WA9JIB, S8 to about 10 over. And Brian, you're a solid 10 over. Real nice signal from a little bit longer away. So interesting answers. And I guess nobody's really sure. I haven't asked Santa yet, but we'll continue on down the line here and see what kind of answers we get. I don't know what I'm going to get for Christmas either. I got to have a good answer before the end of the night here, but so I'll think about one too. All right, let's turn it over to Vaughn, K6ZTA to take it, and then turn it over to Wayne, KB60QJ, and then over to Max, KJ6HN, and then Max over to Chuck, N6AF, and then Chuck back to me. Go ahead and take it, Vaughn, K6ZTA from AK6R.
Okay, Bob. Thank you. AK6R, K6ZTA. Yeah, we're using the 100 feet a night barefoot, and we've got the 10D microphone here, the static 10D, and we've got the Drake 2B for the receiver, and the antennas is inverted B up about apex at about 55 feet or thereabouts.
Yeah, I got all the technology over here where I'm at.
Well, I'm hoping, I just make it really simple. I'm hoping that Santa brings me a solution to my SP220, which has pooped out.
Well, you can't go by the meter.
And I've got to figure that out. And George was like himself with me, trying to figure that out. I haven't gotten back to it yet to work on it, but I will. Of course I will. It's the only one I've done. So with that, I'll leave it at that and turn it over to Wayne, WLK6OQJ, K6ZTA.
Okay, thanks, Vaughn. This is Wayne, KB60QJ up in Santa Ynez. And tonight running the KWM2A, Electro Voice 664 mics, 312B5, 30L1, F into inverted V up 50 feet. And band is settled down kind of nicely. It was real up and down at first, but most everybody's coming in pretty good now with just a hint of QRM, at least at my locale. Vaughn was the lightest, but you were bounced around S7, S8, so pretty good copy. Anyhow, weather-wise, we've had the last 3 days, probably just a tad 1.1 inches, a little bit over. And before I forget, Bob, JIBs, to give our best wishes to DDX. Hope he recovers. But our thoughts will be with him. Anyhow, as far as Santa, probably at the top of my list would not be anything new, but to have Santa move my tower a bit to give the birds some place to roost besides being over my bedroom deck. Other than that, maybe help repair the KWS-1. Okay, so over to Max, KJ6A10, KB60QJ.
No, on the noise reduction. You probably knew that.
All right, Wayne. Good transmission. You're S9 to maybe 10 over there.
We're on the left side of your display where you...
KJ6A10 here, Max, out in Darwin. And I'm running the Signal 1, talking on a D104 microphone. Signal going out into an Alpha 77SX up to a homebrew FlexWeave dipole antenna resonant right at just about 3895. I don't need a tuner to run the station on this frequency, as I just described. Weather-wise, well, winter's here, and I just checked my weather station, and it's 32 degrees, and no doubt going down. Probably going to be in the mid to low 20s, overnight low, something like that. Today it never really got above 51 degrees Fahrenheit, so winter is here, and my fleet is good, all the antifreeze is good. all my cars and my old 64 International Harvester starts up and gets water and brings it back to town. Yeah, we still have that problem. And, I wanted to say about K6DDX. I wouldn't say he's my friend, but his house was only about 15 or 20-minute drive from my house when I lived down in Simi Valley full-time, and I was still working. And he invited me over a few times. Very interesting, a very bright guy. He had a really nice workshop, and he always had a project on the bench, and he loved music, which I also love. He played keyboards and acoustic bass, double bass, and he let me play it. And I'm a classically trained cellist, so playing that acoustic bass was a real treat. I probably visited him about 4 or 5 times, and that's it. So sorry to hear that he's suffering. Yeah, we all wear out after a while. So for the question, well, I don't expect Santa Claus to bring me anything. I don't need anything in the station. But Dennis, W6DQ, you might be interested to know about this, and maybe some other folks too. I got an email from Bob at Ontario Surplus about a month ago, and he has a bunch of AB577 war surplus antenna masts, 50-foot towers, actually, and I'm buying 2 of them. And they have to come all the way from Ontario, New York, which is, the shipping is horrendous, but, you know, those things are hard enough to find. I want to have a couple in my stash, so in about a week or so, I'll be the new owner of some used AB577 masts. They were used in the Vietnam War and other applications. So, and I got to talking to Bob at Ontario Surplus, a very interesting fellow. So, Dennis, you might be interested to know about that, and maybe some other folks too, the AB577 antenna mast. Over to you, Chuck. N6AF and the group from KJ6810.
All right, thanks. November 6 Alpha Fox. Good evening, everybody, and a repeat for the people that were in the early check-ins. I'm running my KWM2 through a homebrew solid-state amp, but everything's throttled back about 300 PEP out to off-center fed dipole at 35 feet. And I just wanted to mention to AK6R that my grandparents on my dad's side of the family had imagine this, avocados in Fallbrook. They had an avocado farm there right off of Stagecoach Road. And I used to go down and visit them. I would drive down even when attending Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo, and went down there and learned about bacon and Haas and Fiordi and Florida avocado varieties and what windfall really means. So on the question, the answer came immediately. What will Santa Claus bring? No ham deer is planned. I'm just wishing for good health for everyone. Because, you know, what good is the hobby or anything that we do if our health is relatively poor? And I said relatively poor because, you know, we've all got little aches and pains. But you know, my wife recently developed AFib, and but we went to the cardiologist, and he said perfect candidate for cardioversion. So being electrical guys, we know what that means, and that should fix it. And that's next week. So I'm wishing her the best outcome. So that's what I'm wishing for Christmas. Good health for all of us. And with that, I believe I'm passing it back to you, sir. AK6R, N6AF.
Yeah, N6AF in the group, AK6R. Well, very good, Chuck. It's very altruistic of you to wish us all good health, because it's certainly something we all need, whether we like it or not. And I went through heart surgery about 6 years ago, and they put a new aorta in, and boy, it's been just like brand new ever since. So I can feel the anticipation of getting that all figured out. Anyway, the last 4 guys, and we're all 20 over. Just beautiful signals coming in tonight. Band conditions changing a little bit, so that's pretty cool. And boy, I wish I could get Santa to move my tower about 5 feet. Wouldn't that be something? But boy, that's a monumental task. It's almost as hard as putting a tower up originally. But very good, Max, on the antenna mast. I'm going to have to look up the AB577. I can't remember exactly what they look like, but I think I got a couple of them here that somebody gave me a little while back. I've had about 4 towers delivered to me for free over the last 6 months. I got a couple of 55-footers and even got a 72-footer here, and not sure what I'm going to do with them yet, but we're going to put them up somewhere. And by the way, I had a friend call me the other day from Southern California, and he has a KWS-1 for sale at a very good price. So if anybody's interested in that, you can drop me an email at my call sign at yahoo.com. It's AK6R@yahoo.com, and I'll put you guys in touch with each other. And his name is Larry, and he's a real good guy. I've dealt with him a lot. And anyway, he's got one and doesn't want it anymore. He's buying an Alpha. So there you go. All right, let me take a slight pause here and ask if there's anybody else that wants to get on the list. Please come now.
Whiskey Italy 6 radio.
Oh boy, I got a whole bunch of you guys. Go ahead, the W6.
WA6JUS.
Okay, John, JUS, and who else was in there?
Whiskey Italy 6 radio.
Oh, David, how are you? Very good signal. Anybody else besides those 2? Okay, very good. You guys are at the end of the list, and we'll be there in just a minute. So let's go over to W7MS, Mike, then turn it over to, I think it's I don't know if it's K2RP, but I got K2 something written down here, K2RA maybe. And then over to Dennis, W6GQ, and then over to Lisa, KF6QNG, and then back to me. Go ahead and take it, Mike. W7MS with a great signal as usual, I'm sure, from AK6R.
Well, thank you, Bob. Well, let's hope that the propagation gods are still on our side between your station and mine.
They just have
frequency, which they are not for the folks that are close in, but not abnormal for this time of the year. AK6R, W7MS, Mike in Reno, Nevada. And nice question. We'll get around to that momentarily, but message for Brian, no, we're not running the Tempo 2020 tonight, but if you'd reminded me earlier, I would have brought it out of storage and set it up, but warning to Brian, he will be net control sometime here in the near future, and we'll make a point to get that 2020 up and cranking. But tonight, 28 degrees here for the weather report. People will be covering that. I'm running the piece of commercial military equipment. That's a Sun Air GSP 900DX, which is a transceiver, and that's driving the companion linear amplifier of GSL 1900A that runs a single 4TX 1500B in the final, and it's per a lot of commercial and military gear, it's only running about a cool 1,000 watts out. And that's military nomenclature. It's known as the URC-92, back when it was in the military before it got discarded as yesterday's love affair in the surplus market. But as far as the question goes, I'm just going to say, surprise me, Santa Claus. We've got too much junk here, and I think my standard answer is in the past, it's serendipity. You never know, it comes along, and it's bright and shiny and catches your attention. But right at the moment, standard disclaimer, I'm full up, and I shouldn't have any more, but I know I will, but I have no idea what it will be. But it will happen, and when it does, I'll let you know. But with that, over to Ron, K2RP, W7.
Last week was bad.
Okay, very good, Mike. And yeah, it's truly me there, Bob. RP, not RA.
good to hear everybody tonight. Some of the signals are better than others tonight, but we're able to hear most of them. We're using the TR3 with a Shure 444 barefoot into a G5 RV. Let's see. Getting to the question of the day. What do I want from Santa, of course? I think it was Chuck who said it the best. Good health and good life with DBX being so ill. I'm sure that's on everybody's mind. And we're all getting older, and ourselves and our families are constantly facing challenges, to say the least. So that's the best. My second choice is bringing some more stuff to some more places to store my stuff. And my third thing is stop people from coming over and giving me stuff and dropping it on my porch. I have no room for anything anymore. But it's an embarrassment of riches, and I know how fortunate I am to have this hobby and those friends. A couple other comments to Chuck, whose wife is going for the cardioversion. I've been dealing with AFib for nearly a year. They sent me to a cardioversion, and when I got there, they found out that my heart was in normal rhythm, so they didn't do it. And a couple months later, wound up doing an ablation, which has been about over 3 months now, and seems to be very successful. So I know it's a stressful thing to go through, but she'll be okay. And Bob, with the new aorta, you're just lucky they still make parts for your model. Anyway, good to talk to everyone, and we're going to send it over to Dennis and Lisa, W6DQ, K2RP.
Oh, very good, Ron. K2RP at the Vintage Single Sideband Roundtable, W6DQ here, Dennis and Inyo Kern. Good evening, everybody, and hello, Bob. Thanks for being host tonight. We're running the KWM 380 with the Alpha here, as usual, out to the inverted V SM280 microphone, the usual stuff, doing legal limit. And conditions actually are very good for us here tonight. Everybody is, really Q5, no problems at all hearing any of you. Wow. Even you guys, Ron, you're loud here tonight running barefoot, so that's really good. That's really good. Well, I like your question, Bob. That's kind of cool. And my Christmas wish will take you back a few years. The old timers will know this and recognize this phrase. But I would love to have a Christmas tree of the Telrex variety. And maybe even more than a Christmas tree, a big Bertha. That would be the one that we'd really want to have. But we certainly got the room for it. And I know what you mean about towers. We've got a pile of towers here that are waiting to go up one of these years. A couple of 62-foot freestanding towers and a couple of 55-foot crank-ups and a TM358, one of the baby Sky Beetles. I really want to get that one up soon. But but the Christmas tree would be what I would want. But unfortunately, they don't make those anymore. Telrex has been out of business for many, many years. And of course, the closest thing you can get to it now is one of the big systems from Array Solutions. And boy, I love that stuff. But it's not going to happen. Anywho, that's about it for me. And like I said, everybody sounds good. Brian, thanks for doing the early list. You had a nice signal out here as well. And Bob, thank you again. And you have a good evening. And I'm going to send it over to Lisa at KF6QNG and the Vintage Sideband Roundtable, W6DQ.
Okay, thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Bob, for running the roundtable this evening. Well, since I don't really have my own shack, I don't know. Yeah, it's our Radio Shack, but we got too much stuff already. Yeah, for me. only thing that I would wish for is that we could get the other half done and be able to spread this stuff out so it's not all crammed in one location. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay. With that goes back to Bob, AK6R from KF6QNG.
KF6QNG with a beautiful voice tonight, as usual, from AK6R. Well, very good. Well, Dennis, you and Lisa had about a 20 over, and everybody else was 10 over. And Ron, you had a good signal, too, even though you're close in. So very good on that. And I can hear you about this no more room for anything. I've got a whole couple of driveways full here, too, so I can understand that. And Mike, we got to send something to Mike because he's got no ideas at all. So we'll all be a Santa Claus and send you something. I got a box of capacitors here, Mike. Maybe you'd like some of those. Hi. And Dennis, I've got an interesting thing for you. I was called about 3 months ago from a guy in La Jolla who passed away, and he has a 92-foot Telrex tower sitting in his backyard, available for free. And you got to crane it out, but other than that, the price is right. So they wanted to bring it up here, but there's no way to get into my driveway. It's too narrow. So anyway, just keep that in the back of your mind. If you really want one, I think there's one to be had for a pretty good price. So you never know what you wish for. It may come true. Okay, let's turn it over to the next four. It's K6RGL. LGL. I'm sorry, Skip. And then turn it over to W6WHK. Then over to NY6L. No, I'm sorry. It's N4DLA, Matthew. And then over to K6ZSR, and then Mike back to me. K6LGL to take it from AK6R.
Thank you very much, Bob. AK6R and the Village Sideband at K6LGL, Skip in Santa Monica by the Bay. Well, if I had Santa could really grant my wish, first of all, I wish good health and everybody. Second, paraphrasing the famous Mr. Spock, live long and prosper. I like that idea. And some of us are living a little longer than the others. And as far as what Santa could bring me, I wish that he would do an instant repair on some of my pieces of equipment so that I don't have to go in there and pull out all these massive power supplies and unscrew all this other stuff. That would be great. Just about every radio transmitter that I have, on Christmas Eve or Christmas morning would start working. So, if you're going to wish for something, maybe we'll wish for something worthwhile. So that would be another one. And as far as equipment, an STDX 101NP would be nice, and the new ICOM 6-meter and up VHF, UHF, and 23 centimeters. Transceiver would also be nice, along with a couple of new antennas. Might as well wish for a lot of things. Wishes are not very expensive. At least they don't cost much. Over to you there, Phil. N6WHK. And by the way, great signals, especially from you, Bob. K6LGL, Santa Monica by the Bay.
K6LGL and 6WHK. Well, fine business. The biggest thing I wish for Christmas for me and everybody else is good health and long life. And actually, life is very short, period. And I wish for a long life for everybody. Other than that, I'm just running the Swan 350 Delta, coaxial antenna, no tuner required. Running about 400 watts power. And hope everybody can copy a okay. There's one or two I've had trouble copying, but that's okay. That's the name of the game this time of year. Sometimes it gets better, and sometimes it doesn't. With that, I'm going to turn it over to the N6 DLA, N6 WHK. Correct me if I got the call wrong.
No, just you got the call right. Just the number. This is November 4, Delta Lima Alpha, with the vintage single sideband roundtable. This is Matthew in Orinda, California, about 15 miles east of San Francisco or San Francisco, running a Atlas 210X. Washed out, no tuner, no amplifier, into a 75-meter dipole, up about 60 feet, sloping, with a Shure 444 microphone, and definitely echo all the best wishes for good health and long life to all. But as far as holiday gifts, I'd like great propagation. I'd really like nice worldwide propagation up as high as 6 meters that actually works on modes other than digital, because you can have all the greatest antennas and the tallest antennas and the most powerful radio and the quietest receiver, but your signal doesn't go anywhere. It's not doing you any good. So memos to the gift people, crank up that propagation. Okay. Mike K6ZSR from N4DLA.
Brothers and their dad passed away, so they bought them. K6ZSR, K6R, your antenna still working, Mike? Yeah, I can barely hear Matthew in there. And so, by the way, how are you copying me, Bob, over?
You're 10 over, Mike. Great signal.
Okay, so I guess this inverted L is working, but anyway, very good evening, Bob. Thanks for running this roundtable tonight. Thanks to Brian. Did a great job there on the earlies, and actually Bob fed him some of the stuff, so everybody kind of chipped in. Okay, very good. So I'm running the Cosmophone 35 and running that thing into the 160-meter palm tree inverted L through a tuner here, an automatic tuner. The Telstar, what is this? Automatic. It's an HF auto. But anyway, so who knows? But looks like I am getting out. Okay, and on the question, Bob, I'll tell you, it's kind of a sore spot with me right now, Santa Claus. I got like a, I don't know. I got like a love-hate relationship going with that Joker. I'm not kidding. I'll tell you what happened, okay? The other day, he dropped by. He came into the shack to see, what my lot request for Christmas was, So he comes into the shack all arrogant, and he looks around at all of my equipment. And then he looks at me, he puts his hands on his hips, and he says, "Really?" And then he quickly departed. So that's it. I don't think I'm getting anything. And if I don't see that Joker again, well, so much the better. Hey, K6R in the group, K6ZSR.
Yeah, K6ZSR, AK6R. Very good, Mike. That's a great one. I love it. And well, we each have our own stories to tell, so that's pretty good. And live long and prosper is a general gift that we should all live with, and take care of ourselves so that we can do that. And instant repair on all the stuff that's not working. Boy, I wish I could snap my fingers and that would happen too. So good on that, Skip. And N6WHK, you were 30 over. Boy, you just got a beautiful signal tonight for Brennan Barefoot with that swan. Just a great signal. And Matthew from Orinda. I lived in Moraga for about 4 years, so I know exactly where you were. In fact, I was married at the Orinda Church there, right next to Highway 7. I think it's the highway right next to Orinda. That's the off-ramp. I was married in that church a number of years ago, 74, I think it was. And to my first wife, so know that town very well. But nice to meet your acquaintance, and a very nice signal tonight. And Mike, the Cosmophone is sounding good too. You were, like I say, about 10 over, so a real nice signal. All right, let's go to the next 4, W6YRZ to take it first, and then turn it over to, I believe it's Glenn, WB6RLC. And then over to Jay, NY6L, and then over to Larry, W6WUH, and then back to me, and then we'll finish up with the last 4. W6YRZ to take it, AK6R. If I got that call wrong, go ahead and come in, whoever it is. Glenn, are you next, RLC?
Yeah, I'm here, Bob. Thank you very much. Yeah, I didn't hear him either. So, anyway, Glenn here, WB6RLC, Cathedral City, down Exburg over from Palm Springs. Let's see, rig tonight, a Swan 500, no suffix, single year of manufacture only. Sure 444 mic up to an off-center pit dipole at 32 feet. Let's see. Yeah, Santa, don't really care. I mean, I need nothing and want little. So, yeah, if he skipped by me, that would just be okie dokie. So I could use, maybe if he dropped off one of his elves, you know, and a magic wand to clean this shack up, because this shack is a mess. There's just stuff piles and cables and God knows what, and, you know, have it organized a little bit, things like that, you know. So, yeah, have one of the elves come by and clean up my shack a little bit. That'd just be fine by me. Okay, Jay, come in your direction. NY6LWB6RLC in the group. Yeah, I got iPhone. I would head up that iPhone video.
All right, Glenn. So, WB6RLC, NY6L Hesperia. Yeah, some signals are starting to fade, so I'm going to make it quick here. So, yeah, I wish Santa would get me for a present a 440 amplifier that's capable of 30 watts in and 100 watts out. Get some of these distant repeaters here on 440. The prices on some of these UHF amplifiers are really through the roof and ridiculous, but that's the way it is. Anyway, we're running the Collins S-line this evening here. DJ, if you're listening here, I'm on the Collins S-line that I bought from you, and it's all recapped and retubed in some places that needed tubes, and working just fantastic. So anyway, we'll just leave it at that, and it's currently 39 degrees here in Hesperia, and it's going to get even colder. So over to Larry there at W6WH to pick it up, NY6LJ here in Hesperia.
Okay, NY6L in the group, W6W. Well, let's see what Santa's going to bring me. Santa is going to bring me a little more space in the radio. I've got a stack of boxes full of used tubes that takes up about a lot of space left in the double door refrigerator, and those are going to go in the back of the truck and go down to Southern California sometime in January. I guess I'm going to come back to Jay's place with a couple of boats. You would be safe. Maybe I'll be sorry, but anyway, I'm trying to get rid of big radios against small ones, but here I am doing it backwards. Anyway, other than that, no plans to get anything, but like I said, I'm kind of, you know, radio is kind of like being a nymphomaniac. You know you shouldn't, but you know you're going to. I get this, and that is, I got a question. If I write questions to the group, have questions, I'll do the same.
Can't you all do
Thank you, Bob. Thanks for taking a minute. AK6R, FCW.
No, no.
Yeah, W6WH, AK6R. Very nice signal tonight, Larry. You're about 10 over, so you're coming in here real nice and clear, and your rig sounds pretty good. And Jay, I think we all want something, and you came up with a 440 amp, and we'll keep an eye out for something like that. And Glenn, I want my shack cleaned. I think we got, most of us have all the gear that we want, and it's just a matter of straightening it out and making it look fancier or expanding the shop to put more in or something like that. But I hear it 100%, and it's one of those things. Just got to have an extra hour every day to do something, and it just doesn't seem to always be there. Anyway, good answers from everybody. All right, we got 4 left here. Let's go through them, and then we'll recap and see if we can award a Golden Cup award. And we'll start it off with George, W6YEC, to take it, and then turn it over to Gary up in Boise, W6GY, I think it was, or I may have gotten the number wrong, and then turn it over to John, WA6JUS, and then finally over to Dave, WI6R. I think he's over in Arizona now, but a good signal anyway. And then back to me. Go ahead and take it, George. W6YEC, AK6R.
You got that code.
Yeah, okay. Very good, Bob. W6YEC. Hello to you and the net. Beautiful signal. You've been holding at 25 over all night. 1500 working well for you. With them, sounded great. And very good to everybody on the net. Good copy, good back. Armchair copy down here in San Diego. Well, okay. We're running the TR4 that came out during the Beeline days. You can tell by the knob and some things on the radio. They didn't put a B on it, but it's a nice looking radio. And matched up with the RV4 and the power and the speaker and all that. Enjoying it. And so, but I made the decision to move the C-line off the desk. And the C-line actually, it's beautiful and has all kinds of goodies with it. In terms of full crystal pack and the Sherwood mods and the filtering circuit and upgrade of the Harbox for the power supply and looks fantastic. Anyway, that would be an ideal Christmas present. So I'm going to just go the opposite direction here tonight and say that I have, as some have already said, I've got everything I could want and nothing that I'm really thinking about, but I am thinking about some equipment that needs to be in somebody else's shack and get the enjoyment out of it that I have had. And that's one of the neat things about the vintage gear. It's been used and it's been enjoyable, and now it gets to be passed on. And Christmas, what better time for a C-line to get passed on to somebody out there that has the room in their shack to enjoy that wonderful piece of gear. So that's my response to the question tonight. And we'll see what happens. Anyway, hope everybody has a great December here coming up on Christmas and all of that. And, yep, health is at the top of the list for us all, isn't it? That's awesome when you can have health. All right. Gary, so good to hear you tonight. It's been quite a while. So thanks for checking in. Had a pretty good copy on you when you checked in, my friend. So let's get it up there to Idaho, see how you've been hearing everybody and your response to the question tonight. W6GY, W6Y.
Yeah, okay, George, very good. Retune the receiver here. Monitor. W6YEC, W6GY, Whiskey 6 Germany Yankee. And Gary up in Boise here. Yeah,
it's been a while. I haven't. I tend to listen in occasionally on here, but tonight's signal seemed to be pretty good, so I decided to jump in. So hi to you, and hi to a bunch of people I know down there: Jay and Mike, Zenitar, and Brian. So good to hear you guys tonight. I'm running the HW12, vintage 1963. So I got an HW12 I've been working on the last couple of weeks. I had a problem with the relay. Some tube sockets needed to be cleaned, and looks like it's running okay now. So, and I'm running barefoot. So it's a Turner Super Sidekick microphone. So that's probably 70s vintage right there. And then the HW12 barefoot into a center-fed dipole, a resonant for 75 meters here. So that's what we got running. Good signals. Strongest signal here. Usually it's Mike, W7MS is usually the strongest one in here from Reno, but he got outstrapped tonight by N4 DLA, Matthew. So you're doing quite well. You're about 20, almost peaking around 30 over. So real good signal from Matthew tonight. And had a little trouble with Skip. Say hi to Skip down there. I guess really down, I guess it's propagation too. It looks like propagation might be shifting around, but I did copy Skip, but he was a little bit light here at the time he made a transmission. So let's see, as far as Santa, no, there's nothing on my list. I've got everything I need. I've got so many, since I retired, all I'm doing is repairing all these radios I used to buy at the TRW Swap Meet. They're all up here. So for instance, I got 5 Apaches, 5 Viking 1s, 5 Viking 2s. Those all have to be repaired, worked on, restored. So yeah, I got plenty of stuff up here. I really don't need anything else as far as ham radio. So that's the deal. So that's what's going on up here. Hopefully you guys are copying okay, because I am barefoot. So I guess 200 watts PEP maybe is what I would expect from the 6 GE5 sweep tubes. So I'm going to send it to John. Boy, it's been a long time, John. You know, I used to call you Mr. Juice, WA6JUS. You know, that was back in the Burbank wrecking crew days. Boy, that's, you know, Trevor and Dave and, geez, I can't remember the other guy. The W1 there. I forget his name. It's been so long. He went back east, but it's been a while there, John. So let me send it back down that way to the juice man down there. WA6JUS. Great to hear you guys tonight. W6GY, Boise, Idaho.
Yeah. Waterfall did a great job.
From WA6JUS. And I am on the Galaxy 300, and I'm afraid that it's running pretty big. I turn it to loud on TV. I had better. Can you copy this?
I got back January to.
Am I just fading away?
I'm figuring you'll probably
I worked on the vintage radio at ART13, and also they didn't need it. But they did. The CBW was just a far off the foot. And so my wish to Santa is that.
Well, I know you had to about all that. I hope it's Sandy got coming up. Turned out all right. You don't have to do nothing for a while.
I could do it. This is WA6JUS.
Yeah, real fine, John. WA6JUS in the group from Whiskey Italy 6 Radio. Dave here in Kingman, Arizona. And Good to hear everybody tonight. The signals have been pretty good. I'm starting to hear the East Coast so pretty strong. But tonight we're running one of our favorite little rigs. This is our Alda 103. This 45-year-old radio has had absolutely no restoration work done to it, and it looks like it came out of the box. It's really cool to find a really absolutely pristine one. And the microphone is a brand new Shure 404C I took out of the box and put a plug on the end of the cable, and that's what we're using tonight with it. And having a lot of fun with this radio. As I've commented before, 45 years ago, this was the first piece of amateur gear that spec'd third-order intercept point with two signals in the receiver passband. That was not done again until 2000 with Elecraft's K3. So it's kind of a special radio. It performs extremely well, and it's very, very stable. It's about half the size of a Collins 516F-2 power supply. So it's a neat little mobile rig. Anyway, I just it was late tonight, working late, so I just tuned in about the time Chuck was transmitting, and I have to go along with Chuck on the Christmas wish. However, and the live long and prosper certainly does fit too. But if Santa comes by with an empty sleigh, I have lots of stuff we can load into it, and he can take it away. I have way too much, and I'm trying to whittle it down little by little. So I won't hold it. I know the conditions are probably going to change here. Good to hear everybody tonight. It's Armchair Copy with the RF gain cranked back and good signal. So thanks for taking the roundtable tonight, Bob. And I missed Brian taking the earlies, but hi, Brian, and hopefully we'll see you again real soon. K6 or AK6R and the group WI6R.
Yeah, WI6R and a group AK6R. Very good, Dave. And boy, that Alda 103 really sounds good, and very good signal too. You're about 10 over here, so you're booming in. Real nice signal. And John, your Galaxy 300, I haven't heard one of those on for a long time, probably since you were last on. But congratulations for getting that radio and keeping it on the air. And for that, I applaud you. And Gary and your HW12 from Boise, boy, you're making it down here. A little bit of QSB, but when you're peaking up, you're about S9, so good signals. And George, you're 30 over to 40 over, so a usual great signal. And by the way, if you want to play Santa Claus, you can just bring that Collins gear over here and make a present to AK6R. That would be just fine with me. So I don't think you wanted to be a Santa, but since you're offering, that might be a way to do it. I know a guy that's got a 92-foot tower that would love to have a Collins rig, so there you go. All right, everybody else, I'm going to wind it up tonight, and I think I'm going to award the Golden Cup to the first guy that talked a little bit about good health for all, because that's probably one thing that we could all use, and it's something that we should strive for and take good care of yourself and all that stuff. So I'm going to give the Golden Cup tonight to Chuck, N6AF, and since he has been to Fallbrook and the avocado farms up here, it's probably appropriate that it goes from one Fallbrook guy to another. So, Chuck, if you're still around, give us a few comments. N6AF from AK6R.
Hey, that's great. N6AF, thanks. Well, I'm honored to get the Golden Cup, and I guess I'll add that one of the best inputs, I think, besides good eating and exercise, is good social surroundings and good supportive camaraderie. And and any recognition awards helps as well. But that award wouldn't exist if it weren't for everyone being here. So kind of spread the award around to everybody. The camaraderie part of the hobby, I think, is just really critical. You know, once in a while you might come off a kind of a sour QSO or something, and it'll kind of have a little bit of a cloud over you. But by and large, never with this group have I ever come away with anything other than a very bright, refreshed feeling about the hobby. So that's all. That's my comment. And thanks so much. Back to you there, Bob. N6AF.
N6AF from AK6R. Very good, Chuck, and very nice way to end up the night. And I got a call from at Palomar today from about 3 new hams who had just gotten their license, and they were so excited. And it's kind of like the same thing you were talking about. Because here you are, we've got all this experience, and now we can start sharing it with some of the newcomers and kind of point them in the right direction, and hopefully they'll turn out as well as all of us did. So anyway, I appreciate everybody checking in tonight. The answers were great, and the signals held up, and so we think we had a pretty good roundtable. If I don't talk to you before Christmas, have a Merry Christmas, everybody, a Happy New Year. But I'm sure we'll be on here once again, at least the next couple of weeks. So, but to those of you who can't make it or are traveling, have a great New Year's and a good Christmas too. So I'm going to say 73s to everybody. Thanks for checking in, and we'll catch everybody next week. This is AK6R, Fallbrook, California, signing off and clear.